Hi and welcome. Thank you for purchasing the Caregiver Pay and Profit Calculator. This tool was designed specifically for home care agencies to help you determine caregiver pay rates, understand true payroll cost, and protect your agency's profit, all in one simple tool. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how to use the calculator step by step. Let's start in the first tab. The first tab represents the insurance company reimbursement rate per hour. In this scenario, I will be using Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, the insurance company reimburses the agency's $21.52 per hour. The next tab is the caregiver weekly hours. This represents the amount of hours the caregiver will be working weekly. In this scenario, I'll use 56. I use 30% as our agency base rate as profit margin. And based on that information, the system generates that the caregiver should be making $13.18 per hour. Let's now look at the calculate profit screen to see what's generated from this, the information we inputted on this first screen. Again, we see that the insurance reimbursement rate 21.52, the caregiver weekly hours 56, the total reimbursement rate for the hours per week is $1,205.12. Again, we see where the caregiver rate is $13.18. It also calculates the overtime rate. And on this screen, this is the weekly caregiver hours. Because the caregiver work 56 hours, we know that 40 hours is regular hours and 16 hours is overtime. The agency pays bi-weekly, and these number on this screen represent the payroll expenses that the agency pays from the amount the insurance company for each caregiver. Based on the scenario, it shows that the caregiver will be making $43,866.37 for the year. This number, the 62,666.24, represent the total yearly reimbursement rate from the insurance company. And again, these number in red represent the the employer taxes that we pay for each employee. And in this case, the agency is paying $6,022.85 per year in payroll expenses for this caregiver, which leave us with a grand total of $12,777.02 as the agency net profit yearly. And again, the profit margin after all the calculation, we are at 20.39%. We will we will now jump to the screen where, based on all the calculation, it shows that if we are paid weekly, the caregiver will be paid $843.58, and on a biweekly basis, the caregiver will be paid $1,687.17. Let's now jump to the dashboard. The dashboard give us a visual of what the calculate profit tab is showing. So in this scenario, it's letting us know that the MCO pays the agency $21.52. The caregiver hourly rate is $13.18. However, the true employee cost, based on everything that we pay on payroll for the employee, is $17.13. It gives us the weekly payroll cost for this caregiver. It gives us the weekly agency profit for this case. It gives us the yearly payroll cost for associated with this person. And again, overall, it gives us the yearly agency profit. It also points out profit per hour that we make on this case. In this case, it's stated that we're making $4.39 per hour on this case. Based on that synopsis, the calculators show that this is a thin margin, and it gives us a visual of to let us know that for total payroll costs, how much we're paying compared to how much would the agency keep in profit. And the client summary screen just give us a quick breakdown of everything. Everything is represented in the dashboard. On the summary, it just gives us a summary of what the dashboard is saying. Another cool feature of this calculator is Let's say we want to change the amount that we're paying the caregiver. We want to play around with different numbers. In this scenario, the system generates the 1318. But let's say we had agreed with the caregiver that we can only afford to pay them $12 an hour. We will go into the override caregiver hourly pay option, and we will just put $12, and we will change the use override. We will change the override to yes. So now instead of the system using the $13.18 as the pay rate, it's using $12. So now let's look at the difference in the profit. Now it took us from what the caregiver was making yearly. It changes that number. It changes how much we pay in payroll and the payroll expenses, and also it improved our profit margin yearly. So let's look at the dashboard. The dashboard now let us know that that's a healthy profit. It increases the profit per hour on each case. It gave us the an increase in the yearly agency profit. It reduces the employee cost per hour, and we can see the agency weekly profit is this number compared to what we had at first. Again, the same thing in the summary. It just gives you a summary of what is on the dashboard from what we have inputted in this screen. Always keep if we're not changing the number on the of what the system generates, always keep this as no. If we want to change how much we're paying, then we'll change this to yes. So to start out, we'll always keep it as no. And if we want to change the amount that we're paying the caregiver to override, we'll change it to yes. Thank you for purchasing this calculator. I hope this helps. Thank you.